Hari Om Tat Sat Yogis, welcome. I don't know why I haven't been doing it, but I want to invite you to come to our Zoom classes. Pure Peace Yoga is our website address. We have live Zoom classes, and we also have started a really cool thing where we are pre-recording like this, shorter 20 to 30 minute classes that you can have twice a week, and we have a subscription going on that. So come and check out our website, come and join us for the other classes. We have a beautiful community. You can bring your pets. This is how we are living and loving during the COVID days of our lives. So please come and join us. Please remember to like and share. People really need this medicine right now. People really need this medicine right now. So take the time to share. It's medicine. And then let's come and sit in a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you, and begin to arrive. Just taking any organic movements that you need to. Moving into the neck, into the shoulders. And then coming to a still place, just becoming aware of the breath. Maybe a little sigh. And begin to make this conscious transition from your mind space, your mental capacities, into your physical body, into embodiment. So starting to feel your consciousness dropping into the body. There's an actual moment. And then again, perhaps there's some more natural organic movement as you present yourself in the body. Feeling the sit bones on the floor, and then feeling this heaviness in the sacrum, in the pelvic area, as you sink down into the body. Come into the beautiful body. Your body knows what it needs. Your body carries deep wisdom inside it. But first you have to get there. And then beginning to alternate your consciousness, your awareness, your full awareness between the body and the breath. Knowing that the breath is the way into the body. We find our way into the body physically through the breath. So we think ourselves into the body with the mind. And then we're making that switch between thinking about being in our bodies and being in the body. And then we become acutely aware of that being in the body through the activation of the breath. Noticing the air moving through the nostrils. Noticing the air coming out of the nostrils on the top of the lip. Noticing if there's some discomfort in the body already from sitting up a little longer, a little taller. And then just making a promise, a covenant, a connection, a commitment. Promise to the breath. The breath has never forsaken you. The breath will never forsake you. Can you, in this moment, make the same promise to the breath for only this little while that we are taking our yin practice? I just promise to be with you for now. I promise to try and stay present. Promise to stay connected. And with your next breath, beginning to drop the chin to the chest, sliding the chin across the chest from center to center. Side to side, sorry. Center to center. And then inhaling the head back up to center. We're taking a kind of a fiery practice today. We're working a cleansing kind of a practice. Take the arms around the back, clasp the fingers, lift the chest, open the heart. And we're working with the small intestine meridian, which runs through the arms, across the shoulders, down into your torso. And then bring the hands back around to center and let's start to get into the side body. Taking your right hand out to the side. I'm completely in love with being in the side body at the moment. And just sort of teasing your way into this. So you're just lifting your palm of the hand up and down, and as you do that, allowing a little more weight to drop into that right arm. Inhale the left arm just straight up to the ceiling, soften the shoulders. Remember, we're in the fascia, the ligaments, the joints, the tendons, the connective tissues. And then maybe you can come all the way down onto the forearm. Maybe not, maybe you stay on the tips of your fingers or the palm of your hand. Stretch up a little higher with that left arm and then begin to drop that left arm over your head. And then again, extend, spread the fingers nice and wide. And then just relax that limp wrist. Let that wrist be limp. Excuse me. Rude. And then look past the armpits. Oh yeah. Try to take a little bit more rib rotation and just stack the shoulders on top of each other. Making sure that your left hip is staying grounded. Take your gaze down to the ground. Inhale, exhale. Drop your top hand onto your right knee. Slide your right hand towards your hip and then round to the base of your spine, coming into a twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Perhaps just your fingertips are resting on the ground behind you in the lower back, making sure that the hand is very close to the lower back so that your spine is elevated and long. So we're not leaning back, it's not a beach pose. Not necessarily taking the gaze all the way over the shoulder. If the neck is not happy with that, then you can just keep your gaze just to the side of you. Make sure that both elbows are a little bit bent. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, drop a little deeper into it. Now I want you to drop into it. So normally in a vinyasa style class, we keep the chest lifted in and really focus deeply on the spine lengthening as you twist. I want you to drop and let the back round a little bit here as you twist. So kind of just letting the back soften, letting the belly soften. And last breath. Slide the chin across the chest, coming back to center and taking that left hand all the way out to the side if you don't have a dog lying next to you. This is Rabobi. Hashtag Rabobi. And again, so just kind of teasing it, lifting the palm up and down, taking the right arm up, and then maybe eventually sliding. Is he gonna let me go here? I think I'm gonna have to move, guys. And then maybe getting to the forearm, the elbow, this one. And then again stretching that right arm up, spread the fingers nice and wide. Drop the arm over your head again, spread the fingers nice and wide. Get a little more reach, a little more rib rotation, stack the shoulders, and then just relax that top wrist. Look past the armpit for a moment, and then maybe drop the gaze down to the ground. Just letting that ear drop into the shoulder. And last breath. Top hand goes to the knee, sliding your left hand around the back into the lower back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist, keeping those elbows bent, maybe just resting on the fingertips with the hand behind you. And then again, just let that back round very slightly. The belly soften. Being cautious with the neck. Inhale, exhale. By its very definition, yin doesn't kind of feel like a fiery practice. It's not a energetic yin style practice, a yang style practice. But we are still able to work with the elements, with a fiery, cleansing nature. And then bring the hands onto the knees and just begin to take a bit of a cat-cow-like sensation. Letting the elbows bend, lift the chest, and then exhale round into the back. Couple more. Inhale up, dropping the head back. Exhale down. Inhale up. And then as you exhale down, you're going to exhale forward into a forward fold. So keep your chest lifted, drop the belly down to the ground, pull the elbows a little bit into your waist, lead with your chest, lead with your chin. When you've got about halfway, then begin to walk your hands out in front of you and fold forward. Not being too concerned with whether your forehead is getting down onto the ground, that's not the point. Just let the back ground wherever you get to. Inhale, exhale. Just checking in with that hip, feeling what you can feel. So part of the cleansing practice is the hips, just helping those hips to clear things out. And walk your hands back. Swap your legs. Swap your legs and then fold forward. Just coming back to the breath, staying with the breath. And then from here, rolling over your ankles, over your shins, coming into open-head extended child. Big toes touching. Remember to bring your props. You can always put a pillow beneath or in between your calves and your buttocks if open-head extended child or any child is not accessible. Coming down into this child's pose, you can be on the forearms and let the elbows bend. Either come into the full pose or resting your forehead on your hands. We're going to be here for a while. Take a good deep breath in. Exhale, side out. Feeling the weight of the body just sink into the ground. This is our first long hold. We're going to be here for 4 minutes. Just staying with the breath. You might even find that as you begin to soften down to the ground, you can work your elbows further apart. Your bum may be able to sink closer to your heels. Your torso and your heart can sink closer to the ground. And if you feel like there's even more space, you can turn your cheek to one side and take the hands out from beneath your forehead. And if there's even more space for you, you can take your arms and wrap them around your knees. Your fingers are pointing towards your feet, your elbows are bent. If your cheek is turned and you need to bring a hand onto the floor to help you turn your cheek the other way, then turn your cheek the other way. We're halfway through. Remember, you don't have to be here. You can have your hands on your forehead, or your hands below your forehead at least. You can have your arms on the floor, elbows bent. And then if there's a little more room in you for this last minute and a half, you can maybe even take your arms around your back and rest one hand in the other, gently clasping onto the wrist. Doesn't matter which hand you're holding so much. And then again, let the shoulders drop down to the ground. This is quite far. This is quite advanced. You don't have to be here. Remembering that in our yin practice, advanced really just means that you are totes relaxed. That your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, your fascia are malleable. Well, your fascia is certainly malleable. If you were holding onto a wrist, swap hands with your holding of the wrist. If you've been able to sink down a little deeper, maybe you've gone from hands below your forehead to hands on the floor. Or maybe you've gone to having your hands around your knees, or at least your arms around your knees. And last 2 breaths. Inhale. If you're holding your hands behind your back, release them to below your shoulders. And as you exhale, gently pushing yourself up. Oh. Keeping your knees wide if you can. Right hand behind you. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, hand out to the outside of the knee or the thigh, wherever you can reach. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Oh yeah. Bring your hand a little bit closer if you're leaning back too much. If you are leaning back too much, last breath, slide the chin across the chest, come back to center. Either lift up, put your hands into your lower back and push your hips forward. This is only if that's very comfortable for you. Or roll up onto all fours and just take a cat and cow. Keep your knees wide. So you're either taking cat and cow with your knees wide, your big toes close together, or you've lifted all the way up and you've given your bum, your glutes a little bit of a squeeze, and you just hands into the low back. If back bends are more your jam, you can have your hands however you feel here, whatever is supportive. This is just a counter pose. Whatever you're doing, come back down. Bring your bum back down to your heels. If you're in cat and cow or all fours, walk your hands back. And swapping sides. Left hand behind you. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Keep those elbows slightly bent in your twists. And chin to chest, release the head around, come back to center. Everybody coming up to your standard cat and cow. Knees below your hips, wrists below your shoulders. And inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Taking your time with this. You don't have to be doing it exactly in rhythm with me. And coming back to center from here, extend your right leg out to the side. I'm going to turn around and mirror you so that you can see a little more clearly. Inhale, rolling up, making sure that your left hip is above your left knee. Your right foot is at a warrior 2 kind of an angle. Lengthen, pull the pubic bone towards your belly button. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. We are still yinning. Inhale as you exhale. Just slide that right hand down the leg and coming into a side bend. You can let this right knee bend a little bit. You don't have to super engage that leg. It's yin mos. And then again, that same feeling of stretching the arm up first and then exhaling it over. Being cautious not to dump all of your weight into the hand that's on your leg. Look past the armpit. Look down to the ground or towards your leg. Look into the room and just drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Soften the right shoulder away. Inhale. Exhale. With your next breath, rolling over to the other side. And you're just going to slide your left hand down your leg. Very gentle, reach over. You don't have to touch the floor. If that's very natural for you and you want to go all the way down there, no problem. You can go down there. That's not specifically where we're going, but if that's good for you, take it. Push the hips forward again. Draw the tailbone, your pubic bone towards your belly button. Inhale, exhale, last breath. Inhale back up to center. And then release that leg. Bring your hands into your low back. And just push the hips forward. So there's a little bit of movement between our long holds today. Keep your gaze even, you don't have to drop your head back. And release, come back up to center. Drop back down to all fours. Come to a melting heart. Walk your hands forward. This is going to be a 2-minute hold. You can let the forearms come right down. You can let the elbows be a little bit bent. Drop your forehead down to the ground. Try and make sure that your hips are above your knees. Let the belly drop down to the ground. You don't have to hold anything in too tight. And breathe. So we're taking some heart openers. Those are fiery. And we're working into those meridians running from the chest through into the arms. Stay with that breath. If this becomes too much for you, you can just come to open knee extended child. So if the melting heart is too much for you, you can either come to open knee extended child or full child. Remember, you can use whatever props you want during your yin. For props below the forehead, props between your ankles and your bum. And we're into the last minute of this melting heart, if you're still there. Remember, it doesn't have to be an active melting heart. You can bend your elbows, rest your forearms on the floor. And last breath, inhale, exhale, walk your hands back. Take cow, take cat, inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And then extending your other leg, your left leg out to the side. Walk your hands back towards your knee, roll up. Make sure everything is stable. When we're in our yin practice, we just want to make sure that our skeleton is stable. So that's why hip above the knee. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, slide that left hand down and the right arm up. Again, just first up to the ceiling, just sort of teasing into it. Yo, I can feel that right down into like the top of my hip and my, so as you can bend this left knee very slightly. You don't need to lock into that knee. Don't put all your weight on the leg, and then start to take that right arm up and over. Try and stack the shoulders still, drawing the pubic bone towards the belly button, so we're protecting the lower back, not just sticking your bum out. Even if you do have some fine junk in your trunk, today, draw the belly to the spine. And last breath. Inhale up, take it all the way over. You can go all the way down if you want to, if that's good for you. Otherwise, just sliding that hand down the leg. Again, pushing the hips forward, pushing the pubic bone forward. See, this side is so much easier for me. I feel like I've got way more depth. Maybe I can go over this side. Inhale, exhale. And last breath. Bring it back up. Release that knee. Come back on down to your all fours. And then let's take a little downward facing dog, yo. The great equalizer is what I call it. Doesn't matter what style of yoga you're doing. Oh yeah, push up, take some pedals, take a moan, take a groan, take any movement that feels good for you. Maybe making your dog a little active initially, and then just letting everything soften. You can lock into the elbows, lock into the knees if that's your tendency. I'm not instructing you to do that, but if downward facing dog is really comfy for you, then you go ahead and kind of settle into it. And I'm not timing this, you're just going to hold your dog for as long as you can manage. Make sure that your gaze is directly towards your feet though, and your chin is tucked into your chest so that the back of the neck is broad and free. If at any time you need to come down out of this dog, you just come down into child's pose or open kneed child's pose. And last breath. Let's all meet down on our knees. And then walking your hands forward, coming down onto your tummy and coming into Sphinx. Just keeping my timer there. Sphinx, elbows below the shoulders. Take a moment, draw the chest in between the arms. And then soften the belly down. Tops of the feet are flat on the ground. Inhale, as you exhale, soften the chin down towards the chest, or keep your gaze even, and we're in. And we're here for 2 minutes. If it becomes really hideous for you, you just come down and lie on your tummy, take a crocodile, or take the arms alongside the body, and turn the cheek to one side. And just chill. Relax your bum, relax the belly. Come back to the breath. Still trying to lengthen and deepen the breath. If you want to check in with the neck, you can just drop the chin into the chest and slide the chin across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. For these last 20 or so seconds, maybe you want to change position. So if you've had your gaze forward, just drop the chin into the chest and vice versa. Inhale, exhale. And last 2 breaths, we're going to challenge ourselves. If you need to come down and take a break, come down and take a break, no problem. Join back in when you are ready. Take your hands to the corners of your mat and push up to seal. Remember, the pubic bone must stay on the floor. Relax your bum. Relax your bum. If you want to lessen the intensity, you walk the hands a little further away. And if you want to intensify, then you're walking the hands a little closer. And relax your bum. Again, this is a space where you can kind of lock into the elbows if that's natural for you. I'm not telling you to lock into them. If your elbows are slightly bent and that feels good, then do that. But if you're kind of hypermobile and your joints are a little, be careful if you're hypermobile. Feel what's actually going on. Relax your bum. Relax your bum. Take a little lick of your lips. Relax the jaw. Stay with the breath. If at any point you need to come down, you come down and take a rest. Rest is either crocodile or arms extended alongside the body, cheek turned to one side. Relax your bum. Last couple of breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, just lift your chest a little bit higher, and then as you exhale, rolling all the way down. Try to bring the elbows into the bend into the elbows and draw the elbows slightly in towards each other. And try to bring the chest down vertebra by vertebra. You've still got a spine in there. You're just going down the front of the spine. Vertebra by vertebra. Turning your cheek to one side, doesn't matter which side. Cactus the hands next to your head. Bring your big toes closer together. Let your heels flop out to the side. Resist the urge to rock into your hips and just feel the rebound of coming out of the pose. Take a long, slow inhale. And an even longer, slower exhale. So we're going to do 2 more like that, and I want you to count the duration of your inhale. And if your inhale is 5 counts, then make your exhale 7 counts. If your inhale is 4 counts, your exhale is 6 counts. Inhale. Exhale. Extending that exhale again. From here, extend your right arm out to the side. Your wrist is in line with your shoulder. Spread your fingers nice and wide. You're using your left hand to roll yourself onto your right hand side, and as you do that, you're walking your fingertips further away from you so that you're giving the arm space to lengthen. Your top leg is either stacked on top of your bottom leg, or you're bending your knee, oh yeah, and putting that foot flat down on the ground. Rest your cheek on the ground. Left hand either stays on the floor, or inhale it up towards the ceiling, then perhaps resting your hand on your hip, or turning the palm back and just leaning that arm out behind you. If you know this pose, you know that you can reach around and clasp your fingers, but only doing that if you can keep your arms in line with your shoulder. So if you have to slide your hand down towards the bum to reach for it, then rather stay somewhere where there's still some challenge. We're going to be here for a little while, so if bent knee with foot on floor starts to feel like a little too much, then you can still stack. Luckily, you can still change your mind. You can still change your mind. And then again, come back to the breath, come back to the softness. And last breath. Inhale as you exhale. Put your left hand back on the floor, very, very gently rolling onto your tummy. Oh. Bring your big toes to touch, drop your heels out. Cactus your hands again and turn your cheek the other way. So you're pretty much on the same side as you were. You're still on, unless you turned your cheek the other way. Just turn your cheek the other way. Make sure you're on the other cheek. And then again, taking 3 rounds of breath where the exhale is longer than the inhale. If your inhale is 5, your exhale is 7. If your inhale is 6, your exhale is 8. And last breath. Extend your left arm out to the side, or on the other side. Bring your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Walk your left fingers away from you as you roll over. Remember, the sides are not going to feel the same, particularly with this twist. So be kind, be gentle, be honest. Just figuring out where this leg belongs. Maybe you want to bend the knee for a little bit. Hand goes either to the hip or up, or reaching marginally backwards. Try to soften the neck, soften the shoulder. Come to long, slow, full breaths. Oh man, I'm just loving how the sun is coming into this room right now. I'm grateful for that. Is there something you can be grateful for? Let's cultivate a little gratitude there. Let's seize the carpe diem, seize the moment, seize that opportunity for gravity. Couple more breaths. And last breath. Inhale as you exhale, right hand down onto the floor. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Roll onto your tummy. Oh. Crocodile this time. Make a pillow with your hands, rest your forehead on your hands, turn the toes out, heels in. If that's not nice for you, if that's not possible, then just stick with the same toes to the inside, heels to the outside. It does do a different thing in the hips though, and in the pelvis, so just see how you go. Take a good deep breath in. As you exhale, draw the belly back into the spine quite strongly and quite like a yang-like sensation. And then soften it. Then let the belly go down to the ground. Perhaps there's another little sigh, or a moan or a groan. Elbows tight. Use the forearm cheat, what I call the forearm cheat if you need to. Or you can scoop, it's yin. There's no need to engage anything unnecessarily. Push back. Full child for a moment. Knees together, bottom to your heels. Maybe you need a pillow there. Forehead to the ground. Oh, yes. Hands next to your feet. Yes. Inhale, exhale, side out through the mouth. Two more sighs through the mouth. Bring the hands under the shoulders, push up. And taking a downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, push back. Yeah. Take the pedals, take a little bit of movement. And then again, just holding it here for as long as you can manage. Just nod the head, shake the head no. Yes, 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 no, no, no. And then look towards your hands and take your right leg forward into your pigeon. Remembering to use whatever props you need to here. So if you need to pop a pillow or a blanket underneath your right bum, you can do that. Adjust your pants. Take a moment in the back bend, come up onto your fingers, lift the chest, open the heart. And then exhale, fold forward. Again, you can use props underneath your tummy, you can use props underneath your forearms, you can put whatever you want there. Maybe under your forehead. Soften what you can soften. Control what you can control. Relinquish what you cannot control. What can you let go of? Is it a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? Is it an emotional thing? Lick the lips. Soften the right hip. And last breath, bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your back toes. Push back. Downward facing dog. We're not holding here, you're just taking a pedal. And a little sit bone sharpening, a little ironing out, and then coming straight to the other side. Again, using your props if you need to use props. Under a bum, under a hip. Come up into the forward bend for a moment. Back bend, forward bend, back bend. Lift the chest, open the heart. Oh, snap, crackle, pop. And then fold forward. Maybe more props, maybe less props. Maybe there's a sigh, maybe there's a moan, maybe there's a groan. Soften the left hip. What else can you let go of? And last 2 breaths. breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Draw yourself up. Sit on your left bum. If you've got a prop under there, just take it out. Bring your right leg around. And roll down. So coming straight down onto your back. Bring the feet flat in front of you. Maybe shifting your bum forward if you need to. Make sure that you have access to blankets, eye pillows, things that you're going to need for Shavasana as we go down onto our back. Use your elbows if you need to. And it's yin with Stella, so as much luxury as you like. Maybe a pillow under the head. And then bringing the knees up into the chest, giving them a squeeze. Chin to chest. Happy baby, God bless, happy baby. Maybe there's another sigh there. You can let your elbows go wherever you want for happy baby here. They don't necessarily need to be on the insides of the calves. And last breath, taking whatever last thing you need. Maybe it's a last little twist. Whatever last thing you need before settling into Shavasana. Most important part of the practice, not to be missed. Settling in, taking your time, making your way into Shavasana. Eye pillows. We have eye pillows for sale if you need eye pillows. Soften chin to chest, settle in. Let the feet flop out to the side. Take a long, slow inhale and an even longer, slower exhale. Maybe with a sigh. If you need another sigh or two to settle into the ground, into Shavasana, into your rest, taking that sigh. And then bringing your awareness back to the breath. Coming back to that extended breath. If your inhale is 5 counts, making your exhale 7 counts, taking this extended breath 3 times. And then letting go of the controlled breath. Allowing the weight of the body to just sink into the ground. Letting go of the practice. I'm going to leave you here in Shavasana. There's no rush. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me. Hari Om.